Okay, now this is question number 6. The times t minutes taken by 150 students to complete a particular challenge are summarized in the following cumulative frequency table. Now remember, this is a cumulative frequency table. This is for the time which is less than or equal to 20, 30, 40, 60, 100, and these are the cumulative frequencies. Now it says draw a cumulative frequency graph to illustrate the data. So I have already drawn this one. So at t, it's 20. So we'll have the cumulative frequencies on the y-axis. On the x-axis, we have time. This is 20. So I've taken evens, I've spaced them out evenly. So I've taken 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Time taken, t minutes. This is very important. You have to label your axis. So this is for the x-axis. On the y-axis, you have the cumulative frequencies. The scale you can figure out. You can have any scale you want. It just has to be right. So since the first thing that's given to us is at 20 it's given as 12. So that's over here. And we have to join this to 0. So I've joined this to 0, starting from the origin. It's always going to start from the origin. So the first time is given as 20 and with a frequency of 12. Similarly, we just plot all the rest of the points like 30, 48, 40, 106, 60, 134, and at 100, it's given as 150. So that's where it stops at 150. This is 100. Now remember, this has to be done using a smooth curve. So if you do not know how to draw a smooth curve, you should practice this because otherwise you will be getting your answers a bit off. Now remember, there's always a range for the answer, but it's between a certain range. It's not way off. So if your answer is way off, you won't be getting any marks for that. So this is what we have done. If you can move on to the next part, it says 24% of the students take 8 minutes or longer to complete the challenge. Use your graph to estimate the value of k. So we know the total number of students we have is 150. Now it says 24% of the students take k minutes or longer. So that's 24%. And it takes 24% and 21 k number of students take 24% or longer. So that means we are talking about the upper students who are going to take greater than this percentage. So that's going to be 100 minus 24. That's going to be 76. So 150 multiplied by 76%. And that's going to give you the value 0.6. So that's 114. Or you can do 150 multiplied by 24. That's 100. And that gives you 36. And you can do 150 minus 36. That's still going to give you 114. So now 114. So we are looking on the table. It says greater than that. So 114 is going to be somewhere over here. And we go down and look at the value. What are we getting for 114? So if I can just, yeah, let's see 114. So 114 is going to be somewhere over here. If that comes down, we should be getting this answer as 46, 45, 46. So the answer is 46 to this, and the range that's given for any answer that's acceptable, that's in the range of 45 plus minus 1. So your answer from 44 to 46, anything between that range will be acceptable as the right answer. So now 114, we need to read from the graph. read from the graph, and that's what we have done. And we have got the value as 46. It says calculate estimates of the mean and standard deviation of the time taken to complete the challenge. Now, remember, this is cumulative frequency is given to us. So let's just have the cumulative frequency over here. The first cumulative frequency that was given to us was 12, then 48, then 106, then 134, and then 150. Now, these are the cumulative frequencies that I've got from here: 12, 48, 106, 134, 150. And these are written over here. I have to work out the frequencies now. So cumulative frequencies, you add them up and then you get the cumulative. You add the two frequencies up and then you get the cumulative. So now what I will do is I'll subtract the two. 48 minus 12. So the first one will be 12. Now 48, now what number has been added to 12 in order to get 48? So 48 minus 12, that's going to give me 36. 106 minus 48, that's going to give me 58. 134 minus 106, that gives me 28. 150 minus 134, that gives me 16. So I've got the corresponding frequencies for the times. What were the times over here? The time over here was 20. The time over here was 30. The time over here was 40, 60, and 100. These were the values of the time with their corresponding cumulative frequencies and frequencies. Now the question is asking us to find the mean and the standard deviation. For the mean, since this is a group data, we do sigma fx over sigma f. So we're going to do the same over here, which is 12. Frequency is 12 multiplied by, now remember this is from 0 to 20. So 0 to 20. So it's going to be the mid value of this. X represents the midpoint, the average of these two. So that's 12 into 10 plus, now this is 20 to 30. So that's just going to be 25. And this is 36. So it's 36 multiplied by X value, which is 25. For the next one, we have frequency as 58. So we have 58 multiplied by the average of these two, 30 and 40, which is 35, plus then we have 28 multiplied by the average of 40 and 60, which is 50, plus average or the midpoint is the same thing. You're adding them up and dividing by 2. Then the last you have frequency of 16, and you have 60 to 100. So that's 160 divided by 2. So that's 80. So this is your sigma fx. This whole thing is divided by sigma f. That's the total frequency. That is 150. We add them up, divide this, and we get the answer as 38.2. That's the mean. Now it says we have to work out the standard deviation. So the standard deviation, we work out by squaring this, the x values. If you remember, let's have a look at the formula for standard deviation. So we are going to use this. This is the formula for standard deviation for group data. So we're using this basically, this formula. So let's just magnify this. Yeah, we're using this sigma x squared. So we're squaring all the x values, multiplied by frequency, divided by total frequency minus the mean squared. We already have calculated the mean. The mean we got as 38.2. X will be all the midpoints squared multiplied by their corresponding frequencies upon the total frequency, which is 150. And taking the under root of that, that's going to give us standard deviation. If we did not take under root of that, then that's going to give us the variance. So now let's go back. So now we're working out the standard deviation. Or let's just work out the variance and then we'll under root and we get the standard deviation. So we have 12 times x squared, which is x was 10 squared. This is x. So we are doing just copying this down and we are squaring all of the x's. So 36 multiplied by 25 squared plus 58 multiplied by 35 squared plus 28 multiplied by 50 squared plus 16 multiplied by 80 squared, dividing the whole thing by 150 total frequency, and then subtracting this the mean, which is mean squared, 38.2 mean squared from this. So basically it's sigma f x squared upon sigma f minus the mean squared. So it's sigma f x squared over sigma f minus x bar, which is the mean squared. That gives you the variance. And then once you have the variance, you take the square root of the variance and you get the standard deviation. So once we do this on the whole calculation, we get the variance as 321.76. Take the square root of this, you should be getting 17.9. 3SF, that's your standard deviation. And that's all for this question.